Hey y'all, just a quick reminder, we aren't professionals. This content is strictly our opinion and it's for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, I have a question for y'all.
What is your question?
What what's something someone has said about you that you find absurd, or like a rumor that you've heard about yourself that is a lie? So I don't know why that popped into my head this morning, and I just thought it was a funny because I thought, how many more things? I mean, there's been a lot of other things that have been said about me that are a lie, completely a lie. But so that's what made me think about that. I thought like, I wonder if they have something like that too. Where again, it didn't bother me, and it doesn't bother me because like, hell yeah, I'm crazy. But I think it's the way and what he meant. I don't even know exactly how he meant it, but it makes me always think about that scene in one of my favorite movies, which is the Silver Linings Playbook,
Hmm.
when the guy and the girl are talking, and they both have. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I love it, but they both have some kind of I don't even know, what do you call it? Because I feel like we all have that, and I definitely do have some of
Um,
it.
Like a
Yeah,
mental tick or something?
yeah, like something. Yeah, right. It's not. They had some, and they never say what they have, but
yeah, I
they're
was about to
like on a
say,
lot.
but
But there's a scene when they're in the diner, and the girl tells the guy like, yeah, like you're like me, and he just gets so offended. He's like, I'm like you.
I remember
He
that.
just, like, to him it was like the most, because to him she was crazy. To him she was like way out there, and so I feel like, I think that's how, to me, it's like the craziest, calling me crazy. Like, what? Anyways, do you guys have something like that, or do you know, or have you heard anything like that that you just think, oh my god, this is the funniest shit?
mm, for me, I can't really think of any, but it's one of those. I don't think anyone has ever like said anything, at least not to my face.
Or that you've heard? Well, I mean, this wasn't said to my face. I heard it from someone else.
No, I haven't heard anything about myself, but I mean, I tend to keep to myself. And I'm trying to think
And that's
back to like
fair.
high school years of like if I've ever heard any rumors about myself, but I've kept such a low profile that I don't even think I've ever made it to any of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very oblivious.
I think so. I'm just kidding. Let me
Whatever.
tell you what's been said about you.
I'm like, have you guys ever heard anything about me? What has the
I'm
family said?
trying to think. No, I can't remember. Well, what about you, Witchy?
No, yeah, nothing that I can think of. Like the only thing that I remember like was, well, again, like the only thing I could think of, like back in high school, but this is more like someone trying to be malicious. That in the end it got turned around on them, and they got in trouble for it. And it was just funny because I was like, does everyone think they know my character that well or something?
Well, what was said? Can you say? I know, like, not who said it, but like what was said. That's the question. Like, what has been
Okay.
said about you? It doesn't matter if it was recent or not. Just that you've heard that, you're like, okay, that's stupid.
Okay, well, no, yeah, for me, I remember because like it was during lunch period, and it was me and my friends. We're all sitting in our group and everything at our table, and I forgot who, but some girl again, like people know of me, but I don't really know them. But I'll say hi, whatever, because I'm not. I was raised that way. I was raised to, be polite.
That's right.
And I was like, hey, what's up? She's like, there's a rumor going around about you, right? And I'm like, a rumor? We're all like, what the hell? Like, okay. So she goes like saying like how supposedly someone was saying that I was like sleeping with the guys in my group.
Oh my
Oh, I
god.
remember
And
that.
all of us were like, the hell? We all like, first of all, like, we're all just stunned. We're like, who the hell is saying that? And I know for a fact there's nobody in my group because, like, obviously, like, they were just equally as stunned. I remember, the person I was dating at the time too. they literally said like, "Who the hell's saying this?" Like everyone knows that's like bullshit. And they're like, "No,
Right.
yeah, we know too, but we felt like we needed to tell her because like they just wanted me to be aware of it in case like someone says something." And I was like, "Okay, who?" And it turned out to be my my boyfriend's cousin at the time, who
Oh
we
my
were all
god.
ignoring because like she was just I don't know like
Yeah. She's a
she's
character.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she was a character and everyone hated her.
See, like that, isn't that silly though? Like, come on, like you know that it's not true, and I don't know, it's just so stupid. Like the most craziest rumors, and like, why are you gonna start something stupid like that? That's funny. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. So thank you for answering my question of the day. I thought there has to be, I'm not the only one who's had these weird stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I have my wonderful dog Lobo right here, and he's just begging for attention.
He was like that
And then I have
earlier
the
with
other
me.
ones. Give me a second.
And then I have the other ones.
It's
The way you said it.
because all of them are very needy. You can't give one lovings and not the other. It don't work that way. Not in their world.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right, so let's talk about our topic for today. And the topic that I have chosen is about alternate timelines slash multiple universes.
Ooh.
So we've talked about this many times. Like this isn't the first time, right? That we've kind of
Uh huh.
had conversations. This is actually probably one of my favorite topics, to be honest. At least for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. But one of the things that I was thinking about, so let me tell you, this morning I was watching this YouTube video on, his name is Darryl, but he channels an entity named Bashar. He's an intergalactical being, and they call him Bashar. And there was this lady who she was asking about if it's true that, or how could we heal our bodies? Like if it's true, because I guess he has done other lectures about that. I don't know, but the lady was asking about it. And he said that yes, but he was saying it's not that you heal your, first of all, he said that you can heal anything. It doesn't matter what is wrong. And in this case, we're talking about the human body. He said, it doesn't matter what it is about the body. What is, you can heal. It's anything. Anything can be healed.
Mm-hmm.
So then she was like, okay, but how? So he said, okay. So the thing is, you're not healing. It's not like magic. You're not going to heal it and watch it, see it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is that we are constantly shifting consciousness to other timelines. He says that we do it constantly without even, like, we don't even know that it's happening. And then he said it in this way, like he said, like, right now you're another one, right now you're another one, right now, like it goes
Mm-hmm.
so fast, and you have to be in the right frequency, and that you can shift to a timeline where, for example, I'll give me an example, right? I One of my many stuff that I suffer from, but one of them is, let's say, fibromyalgia. So I can shift my consciousness into a timeline where that version of myself doesn't have the fibromyalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you guys understand so far from that point?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So, well, the lady didn't understand 100%. So then he gave this example. He said, okay. He said, so let's say right now you drive your car. So in this example, your car is your body, and you yourself that you're driving, you're the consciousness. So you're driving around in this body. But then let's say you go to another country, and when you go to another country, well now, and then you rent a car. So now you're in a different car, but it's you still. so that different car is another body, but your self consciousness is still you. And that's kind of how, he was thinking about that. But before I heard this video, it's so funny how the universe kind of like aligns you with everything. Because before I heard this video, before even knew I was gonna watch this video, like literally probably an hour prior to that, I had this thought in my head, right? Because that again, this is something that I've been trying to work on in kind of like switching timelines, and obviously right now with everything that's going on, I definitely want off of this timeline and I want to go to the better timeline.
Definitely.
And so one of the things that has triggered me in the past is when people say that. Well, it's because you have to be in the right frequency, but they don't tell you why or how to do that.
Hmm.
Because I think a lot of people like that, and the way he explained it, the analogy of the cars, I think that's a good way to explain to people about kind of like that, like a different body and different conscious. Because I was thinking, okay, but then now how do you explain the frequency part? And so the way that the thought that I had about this was like, okay, so you're driving down. Let's say you're driving down the freeway, right? You're driving down the freeway, and here, some highways are 2 lanes and some are 3, 4 lanes, right? So let's say that you're in a 4 lane highway. You're driving down the 4 lane highway, and on here we live in the U.S. So here in the U.S., our exits, because we drive on the right side of the street, our exits are on the right.
Hmm.
But so let's say you're driving, you're on your own little frequency, yeah, yeah, you're jamming, you're on the middle lane. Let's say there's 3 lanes. So you're in the middle lane, and your exit is coming up. In order to get and take that exit, you have to switch lanes. You have to switch over to the right.
Hmm.
So that's a frequency. So you're in one frequency, but okay, you need to do this. You like in the example with the body that you want to heal yourself. Well, then you need to be on the correct lane that is going that is in that direction. You need to go to the lane that is going to take you to the healthy body. But if you are stuck in the middle lane, or if you go to the lane on the left, then you're going to miss your exit and you're not. So that's the way that I put, like, that's the analogy that I came up with, because I didn't know, like, I guess my own brain was trying to figure it out. But does that make sense to you guys? Like, do you, or,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because like I imagine like with life and anything, because again, because like us human beings, either you get distracted or you accidentally go in the wrong direction. Like again, like I said, like in cartoon lanes, like you either exit off too early or too late. So it's like, what do you do then? Like what happens right there?
well, okay. So I think, according to Bashar and many other people that I've heard talk about this conversation, where they say, okay, so you need to get into the correct frequency in
Hmm.
order to have the change that you want. So then I was thinking, okay, but how do you freaking do that, right? Because it's so easy to say that with just switch lanes, but if you don't have the directions, how do you get there,
Hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about this, and the thing that I came up with, which has been the theme for this new year for me, that it's all about the love, right? It's about love. And so I was thinking, okay, so if it's about love, you need to be, first of all, we need to be in a good set of mind, in a good frequency. And it's hard to sometimes get in that frequency, right? Because especially right now with everything that's going on in the world, or if something bad is going on in your personal life, it's hard to shift.
Hmm.
It just sometimes is. Sometimes I don't know what it is about us that we want to wallow and stay in that wallowing. But remember a while back that I was talking, I said about I even have a TikTok about this, where we've talked about healing your ancestral trauma.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had that experience in one of my meditations where I saw like the line of my ancestors giving me the love.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about when we talk about ancestral trauma, but we don't talk about ancestral love. And so I was thinking, how do I apply that to this? And so what I came up with, I said, okay, so if we have this, we're in this lane, right? And in order to get, again, going back to the analogy of I want to heal my body, and I need to switch lanes, but there's a lot of traffic, and I don't know how to switch. So I was thinking, okay, so everything is happening at the same time. Everything is happening. All these timelines and everything that we think from our past, like somewhere in this timeline, there's a version of me that is one, that is two, that is three, that is four, that's that, right? We
Mm-hmm.
know that, or at least that's the belief.
Yep.
Mhm.
Everything is happening in life. Just like there's a version of me right now, there's also one where it's me a year from now, me 2 years from now, like that. So I think that we should send love and positivity and anything else that you want to change in that sense to your alternate versions of you, because there's every possibility that you can think of. It's there. It's there, right? So there's a version out there of me that is probably the worst of me. But just like it's yin and yang, just as there's a version out there of that, there's also a version of what I want, like where I would like to be right now in my life. There's a version out there that is healthy. And so I was thinking, so what if I focus on sending love, sending, positive affirmations and all that energy to the other versions of me?
Mm-hmm.
Because then once you do that, the other versions of you that are at a higher vibrational being than you are going to start, they're doing the same thing. And they're going to start sending love to the timeline that you're in right now. And I think that I think that's how we can start with that,
Hmm.
by sending that positive energy, that positive vibration to the other versions of you. And as you do that, it'll create a cycle, because then your other versions of you are doing the same thing to you. Does that make sense? I don't know. Did I lose you guys?
No, I think that actually makes sense.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that does make more sense.
Again, because lately I've been trying to think, like, okay, because I go, it's difficult, right? Because I think, I feel like I have a good, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word right now, but my faith is pretty high at most of the times when it comes to those kind of beliefs, right? Because I've seen too much. You know, I'm an old lady already. Like, I've been around the world. Like, I know, So I feel like my faith is pretty high. Not that I don't have lows, because I do have lows.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to think, like, okay, ways to help this timeline, of course. But like I said, like, just these things, I was thinking about it, and then the universe said, "Okay, I'm gonna send you this video of Bashar,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of like, I guess, to move me along more. I guess, I don't know, either to people's interest again. I don't know, but that's what I came up with. That we need to send the energy of what you want to change, but you need to send that loving energy to your other universes.
Hmm.
So that's the message for today.
I was gonna say that I don't know if this has anything to do with this, but it kind of took me to, I don't know about you ladies, but me personally, I daydream a lot.
Yeah.
And within daydreaming, I basically created a character in my head that's based off of me, but it's one of those, it's like a fantasy type of worlds I've created for myself.
Mhm.
And in this fantasy, I think about how this character grew up and the hardships that she's gone through, and I basically gave her like a dramatic life
Mhm.
where she
Yeah.
just like every turn she took, it was just there was something always happening, or she was losing people left and right or whatever. But recently, I think this year really, I've like kind of stepped back and thought about her background and everything she's gone through, and I'm just kind of thinking like, why did I put her through so much? Like that fantasy world, you know, it's my creation. I could take away and add and whatever, but I was still over here wondering, why did I make her go through so much, you know?
Yeah.
And so I decided to turn it around for her and make it more of a, you know, she had all this stuff that happened to her in the past, but, you know, she's grown from it, and now it's one of those, she's doing what she wants, you know. She's reconciled with others that have done her wrong, and they both kind of realized, oh, you know, people were just pinning each other against us. Like, it was just for their entertainment versus ours. So now I'm thinking of her with more, with like that, with more love versus the anger she grew up with, you know. I don't know, like, I don't know if that has anything to do with what you brought up, but it's one of those, in my belief, it's, you're thinking of everything that you have, everything that you want, you know. And we've talked about, I think last podcast we talked about how you want to feel happy, you want to feel secure, you want to feel all the good stuff, you know. So for me, it's kind of like I applied that to my character now.
I think that's a really good example. It is, because I grew up daydreaming too. I mean, I have daydreamed my entire life, and I I know people who, I honestly do think, I mean, I'm extremely blessed. And compared to really when I think about other people, I'm thinking like, damn, you know, I'm really lucky. But I honestly do think that that's life. I think I don't know why I've always been very optimistic about things since I was a kid. And I mean, I have memories of other worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds crazy, but I used to think that it was just my imagination. I used to think like, oh, that was, you know, it was just, yeah, it was just my imagination. But now I don't. Now I realize that no, I think I honestly do think that I was just have memories from a different universe or something like that, because I've heard other people say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if it's because of that that I've always, you know, that I've been very optimistic. I don't know if that's the reason, but definitely seeing things and you carving out your life and your experience and all that and what you want to happen, that's definitely something that we should all be doing.
Yeah, agreed.
What about you? With you, what
Yeah,
do you
I
think?
really agree with all you guys, and like I do, like I said, Noodles. I also like they'll have troubling times. It'll be bad. It'll be good. It'll be an adventure. Normal. It'll be loving. It'll be my wildest dreams. Or ones that think like, well, what if I was put in this kind of situation? What would it be like? And I imagine that character going through it. And I totally agree with you. And like, yeah, I could see that, but like, I jump to so many things at once. Like, I feel like, okay, if that's the case, then things like, then maybe in my mind I'm unintentionally jumping from like one, kind of like what you were saying earlier, Mom. But like how in the Men in Black one where Will Smith's character, is it Jay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Jay. I remember they go by letters.
Yes,
Where
yes, yes.
Jay, he ends up going back in time to fix the future as they got messed up and everything. And him and the young version of Kay, they end up meeting this being who could literally see and live in the moment of multiple different universes.
Mhm.
And when they go meet him, he's in a baseball stadium. It's nighttime. It's dark. He's literally alone. He's chanting. He looks like a freaking like crazy person just raving about, you know.
Yeah.
But when they get close enough to him, they're about to talk to him. Like he tells them about instances, moments, and like how could one thing can affect another. And they ask him like I forget like what they I forget what they're about to ask him or whatever. But like he brings them into the universe that he's seeing in the moment the game that's gonna happen. I think within a few days.
Mm.
And Jay is like he's so weirded out by this, but he like goes away from the guy because like he has to literally like touch them. So he gets out of his grip. The guy lets him. He's back in his universe, in the universe right there in the past, and he sees again like it's dark, it's night, it's empty, it's just them. He goes back, the guy touches him on the arm again, and like he's in that universe again. It's full of people, it's packed, and it's like I forget, I think it's the Yankees.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what year it was, but it's like when they became it's when they started getting become popular.
Oh, okay. I don't remember either, but
And
okay.
no, yeah, like if I can, I will send Noodles a link to that one because I love how he explains it. Because like I think like in so many different movies, and especially one with those multiverse ones, I think they do hold some truths of little nuggies in there, somewhere
Yeah.
inside them.
Hmm.
And the way he explains it is it like how some of the multiverses like they're happening at once at the same time, or it already has happened, or it's gonna happen, whether it's soon or it's gonna be years from now. Like he says, all at once. It is like I definitely am simplifying it. You have to watch the episode. He goes in much more bare detail in it. He pretty much says like almost like in a cause and effect, but he does always mention that not all the multiverses follow the same pattern. Like yes, they could kind of almost go in the same direction, but at some point one of them is bound to veer off, which will be different. And he
Mhm.
said it could be a positive thing, it could be a bad thing, or it could be just something that just like it's like a small bump and they have to get back on course again. And he says like
Mhm.
pretty much like it still would be the same no matter what. Like going back to the analogy of like how Noodle said about her character and like when you space off and think of them and everything like that, and to me it's like that actually kind of explains out with me with what I do because
Mhm.
whenever I space off and everything, yes, my character could be in a different universe, different timeline, different alternate reality, or whatever. But to
Mhm.
me, it always did feel like the same character, but following along in that same timeline. Like I could be my character could be an ocean creature. It could be a steampunk character. It could be someone in the past, the prehistoric times, or someone far in the future.
Mhm.
It still feels the same to them and me because it doesn't feel that much different. It feels like it's well, you can't just catch on to it real fast. You can't really click to it.
Right.
But
Hmm.
that's one I felt like he explains it so much better to me at least. Like it feels like it does explain well.
Right. I mean, to me, I think to me it's like I just want to know how can we just jump already, you know?
Yeah, what's the quickest way?
But I think that's the thing, right? I think that's as I've seen, I mean, I belong to several Reddit groups where they talk about this, and they all just seem to say the same thing. You have to be in the right frequency. You have to be in alignment with that.
What does it mean to be in
But
the right frequency though? Because that could vary from person to person. Is it the mindset that you're in? Is it the meditation that you're doing? What?
and that's exactly that's what to me, I feel like that's what's frustrating because it's kind of like, okay, well, just tell us how. But I think, one, I think that we have to find out. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that, like, well, you have to find out for yourself. But, or, go and explore that. But I think, for me, I think definitely being in gratitude, gratitude and love. But it's difficult to always be in that frequency.
Yeah.
It's really hard. But again, this is why I think I got that idea, I guess, of okay, well, that's one way to kind of process it, which is then think about, send the love, send that to the other versions of yourself.
Hmm.
I want to think that that could be the beginning of it. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Because I do think that sending love is the best way to achieve anything, honestly. Because love is just so powerful, especially when you feel it from wherever.
Hmm.
I think of like the kids. Think of, I don't know, even when I was little, I remember just doing things because I loved you and my dad and Amy. I loved my family so much that I just always wanted to do something to make you guys smile. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been as simple as doing a random drawing that I knew would end up in a drawer someday, but in the
Right.
moment, it was done out of love. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to spread that around? But you just making people smile, making them feel good,
Yeah.
making yourself smile and feel good. I don't know.
So we need to keep working on that.
Yep.
Keep working on the love, you guys. All you need is love. Love. The Beatles weren't wrong.
For real. Going my
Okay, you
theme
guys.
song.
So I'm wondering what you're smoking this week, Noodles. What's the strain of the day? Do you know?
No, I don't have any of the tingies.
Oh, okay. Well, were you wondering, Witchy?
Yeah, I'm wondering, yeah, because even though I can't have any right now, I would still like to know.
Okay, well, thank you for asking, ladies. I thought you'd never ask. Also, if you guys, my voice sounds a little bit different. I'm getting over something. I don't know what it was. It was cold, the flu.
We all
I
are.
don't know. Something. But yeah, both Noodles and I got
Sick.
sick last week. But for some reason, I feel like my voice is affected more than you.
Yeah, I feel way better, and I feel like I sound way better.
Yeah. No, yeah, you
But
do.
I think
You
it's one of those because, oh God, we had like a whole freaking week where it was nothing but coughing, 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 and I'm pretty sure you guys hear us every now and then right now as it is, but I feel like my cough has gotten down more today than it was the past few days.
do. Yeah.
So I'm hoping everything is coming out finally. God damn, ain't no reason to be this
Yeah.
sick for this long.
No, yeah, same. So, I apologize. My voice sounds a little raspy. But anyways, yeah, we are herbally intaking. Sweet Boy. It's Sweet Boy. THC is 25%. And this is, sativa. Sativa hybrid.
Sweet
So,
boy.
yeah.
I didn't know they
It's
named something
alright. It's
after
not one of my favorites,
our
but
dogs.
it does the job. What were you saying? I missed it.
Then I didn't know that they had a strand named after our dogs.
Yes. A little sweet boy. Alright, ladies. Um, so my latest to end this podcast for today, I want to talk about my latest obsession.
What is your latest obsession? What is it? I am dying to know.
Well, glad you asked.
And apparently JJ wants to know too.
I was gonna say, my audience here is just dying to know as well. So last year there was a show, and it's a Spanish reality show. And this was the first. I had never heard of this show before. It's called La Casa de los Famosos. And last year was the first time. Oh my gosh! Yes, exactly. Thanks,
Woo!
Hiram.
Yes, you sound excited.
He is excited.
Listen to that, sweet
And
boy.
the reason that I even started watching it last year is because so it's kind of like Big Brother, and I've never seen. This is not the type of TV that I like to watch actually, because it's a competitive reality show, and people were saying, oh, it's like Big Brother. I never saw Big Brother, but I've heard of it and I know of it. So they said that it's kind of like that, or it is like that, but celebrity edition. I don't know. But anyways, so it's these celebrities, and it's all kinds of celebrities. They have singers, actresses, models, and then they have influencers. So sports people. It just doesn't matter. So my one of my favorite singers is well, his name is Lupillo Rivera, and I've been a fan of his. He's been around since probably 20, 30 years. And I saw on Instagram last year that he was going to be on the show. Again, I had never heard of the show before, but because he was promoting it, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna I'm gonna check it out. And it consumed my everyday life because it's celebrities, and every week like they do competitions, and every week one of them gets kicked out by the public. Like the public has to vote who they want to keep, and whoever has the lowest votes is the one that leaves. And then to top it off, they have a channel. Well, they had it last year on YouTube where it was a 24/7 thing. and you can watch them even when the show was off. You could watch them, and I was just obsessed. He got third place, which I think he was robbed completely. But anyway, and then he announced they did a new show this season, and this season it's the La Casa de los Famosos All Stars. So they brought back a lot of the people that didn't win from the past shows from different seasons. And so they invited him back because at the end of the day, honestly, I mean, he has a huge following, but he also has a lot of hate. And so, like, the haters get mad, but it's the truth. He is the one that's providing this content to the house. Every day, the show, it's, Lupio here, Lupio there, and everything that happens in that house, it's his fault. It don't matter what it is, it's his fault. But anyway, so that's my new obsession. So I will be talking about it because I want to start. He has like this show. I didn't know. Like they have, I guess they used to call them fan clubs. Now it's like, oh, it's a team. And my issue that I had was that so it's a Spanish show. It's filmed in Mexico, but for American TV, right? For it's airs on Telemundo, and it's a Spanish channel, but it's aired in the United States.
Hmm.
So I was under the impression, like, okay, so we don't really watch a lot of Spanish TV. I'm not saying I never watch Spanish TV, but I would say maybe 1 or 2% of what I consume is in Spanish. It's just the way it is. I speak Spanish, I'm bilingual, I speak Spanish, I read Spanish, and I write it. Do I write it perfectly? No. Do I speak it perfectly? No. Yes, I'm Hispanic. I was born and raised in the US, very much Americanized. That is something that was out of my control, really, because that's just the way we grew up.
Hmm.
I communicate more in English. My thoughts are more in English. It's again, that's the way I grew up. I'm sorry. But my issue is that I wouldn't have anybody to really talk about the show because most of the people I needed to talk to somebody about the show. I would see, and I would go on lives on TikTok. I would go on Facebook, and I would try to write in Spanish, to text in Spanish, but my autocorrect would always fuck it up.
Mm.
And I know some people might say, well, change it to your language. Why would I change my autocorrect to Spanish when all of my texting is in English?
Hmm.
And I would only text it once in a while if I was on a show like that. There was a couple of, and I would do I very much Spanglish. Again, I grew up going in and out with both languages.
Yep.
And so I would go into the message groups or whatever, and there was this one group, and you guys, I'm so sorry, you guys are gonna be like, oh my god, you're so stupid. But there was this one group with this one lady, this was last year, who supposedly she had like inside intel, and she has this group, and everybody's like, oh my god, yes, like she works for the production and she knows. And so supposedly in this group, you had to pay. You had to pay. I don't remember, it was like $5 or $10 to be in the group for the season, and she would be giving like spoilers, right? I actually paid it. That's how obsessed I was.
Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
yes, I was like, I am paying 5 to again. I don't remember. I don't think it was more than 10. And this is a huge group, you guys, like huge. And so I went into the group, and it was fine. Everything was fine. Was there for maybe like 2, 3 days, but I couldn't really communicate because it was all Spanish. It was all Spanish. And so one day I was like, you know what? I don't know. Something happened in the show, and I texted something on there. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this show is made for an American audience, and like we speak English and Spanish here. I'm sorry, like. So I'm thinking they're gonna know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I said something. The amount of hate I got, people were so upset, and I was trying to explain to them, like, I again, it was nothing, I didn't say nothing bad, we were all talking about the show, and people were, of course, the typical, you have the in Spanish they say nopal en la frente, which means you have a cactus in your forehead, like you're so Mexican or you're so Latino, like you don't speak Spanish. And I was like, I express myself better in English. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying. Anyways, they kicked me out. I got kicked out. And I was like, okay, I was here for 2, 3 days. Like, y'all, are you gonna give me my money back? I did. I got my money back.
Good.
But I had PTSD from that experience. And then this year, I was like, I'm not gonna, obviously, I wasn't gonna go back to that group. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to. There was one group, his official group made by his daughters, and his daughters are like me, which is they're Chicanos, born and raised
Mhm.
here from Mexican ancestors. And so they've been really nice, by the way. All the people there. There was a little incident about the language barrier, but then I did explain myself. I said, look, if I'm not allowed, like I just won't be in the group then. And they were really nice. They said, no, like we understand. And they said, it's just some people here don't speak English, which I completely understand because it's a show in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to try. But sometimes when there's something that's going down, I don't have the time to go to Google
Translate.
translate all the time. And sometimes I just want to text so fast, and they've been really nice. And I've seen other people now starting to do it too, where it's like Hispanic. Anyway, I'm saying all this because I want to start a group that is Chicanas with Lupillo, which is like a team or a fan club, whatever you want to call it. Because of that reason, because I'm like, there has to be more people like me. Like, there has to be more where I'm not bashing the Spanish. I'm not. It's awesome. I speak Spanish fluent, I would say.
Mhm.
I just happen to be able to communicate and understand better in English.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking there has to be people out there that are watching this show. My only reason to watch it is because that celebrity just happens to be there. The moment if he gets kicked out, if for whatever reason he has to leave the show, I'm not gonna watch the show no more. Because most of the celebrities that are in there, I don't even know who they are.
Mhm.
And I want to say, I'm sure that there's a lot of people like me that would want to talk about the show, that want to communicate about the show. I know I've been trying to get you all to watch the show
I mean, I'm watching the show,
because
but I for me, I do have that language barrier because I'm not fluent in Spanish. Yes, Hispanic over here that don't know Spanish. It happens, okay? Whatever. But there are things that I do catch, or like when things are happening, when things are escalating, I'll be there. It literally takes me back to my childhood with my grandma, who would watch her, her telenovelas, and I would be there watching it with her, and not knowing what's going on, but knowing shit's going down, and being like, oh my god, what's going on?
yeah,
Like, that's literally me
Yeah,
with you
especially
now.
when like during the commercial, she'll quickly try to explain it to us and tell
Yeah.
us like what the word meant.
and that's literally what happens now. By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah, that's literally what's going on now with this show. I'll hear something or see something and I know something's going down, but I just don't understand what's going down.
yeah, all the time, right? Like, and then I'll tell her in the commercials too. So I don't know, I might go live and do something like that because I don't know. I want a team. Chicanas is a deal. I have one person that did reach out to me on TikTok, which I was so excited because I'm doing all these TikToks trying to get this group going, and I have one person so far that has kind of like, yeah, like it's so I don't know. I think I'm just nervous to go live on there. I don't know why. But anyway, so be prepared. You're gonna be hearing me talk a lot about Rubio and about La Casa de los Famosos. And I'm just warning you.
It's
This is what
gonna
you signed
happen.
up for. Anyways, ladies, well, I think that's all for today. Because my show is starting. Ooh, what's that smell?
Yeah, normally it smells like weed in here.
Oh, it's my new scented candles.
You mean those coffee mugs?
Yep, it's my homemade candle in a mug. You light them up, and once they finish, all you gotta do is clean them out and reuse the mugs.
No way. Hey, where can I get one?
So for now, all you gotta do is shoot a direct message here on YouTube or to my email, vtdesigns@myyahoo.com. And just tell me your name, the design you want, and where I'll be sending them to.
Wait, what are those things in the jars? They smell amazing.
Oh, those are for the ones who prefer scented wax melts than candles. They come with 4 different scents.
And let me guess, once you finish all the melts, you can reuse the jars for other stuff?
You got it. Order your very own candle in a mug or your very own scented wax melts in a jar.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. I'm Mida,
I'm Muzica.
And I'm Noodles.
and we're bluntly talking. Bye.
Bye.
See you laters.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow us on our other social media.